if you wait till you become perfect, you will never achieve what you really want to achieve. Version 1 is always better than version 1. I am an engineer and MBA, so I have worked with leading IT companies in India. I was very passionate about baking. Hi.
Hi, good to see you.
Yeah, same here. So thank you so much for inviting me on this platform. Thank you, George. Thank you, Kinnar, and the entire team. So I hope you
No,
all can see me and hear me, right?
it's perfectly clear, very well connected. I think we are able to hear you very well. I hope everybody else is too. So super excited to have you here. I am so keen to learn about, how people are able to make it big and how they are able to do a lot of sales online, and especially people who have been able to leverage what Knorish is building. So, Deepti, just introduce your background. We've introduced briefly that you are an expert in the baking domain and you've helped so many people learn baking. If we can hear it from your own words.
Yeah. So before I actually got into baking, so hi everybody. This is Dipti Harshad Vartak. I'm from Mumbai. My educational background is I'm an engineer and MBA. So I have worked with leading IT companies in India. I was very passionate about baking. So I left my job and got into baking full-fledged. So I started my home bakery business, which goes by the name. So you can find me on Insta and FB. It is called as The Doughy Delights. So I used to take a lot of cake orders. I used to sell a lot of cookies, and that's how I started my baking business. So my cookies have really traveled not only in India but outside India as well, and I still keep doing a lot of theme cake orders. Now, why I got into this teaching thing is because my mother was a teacher, and I have seen her how she has created amazing transformation in a kid. So I always wanted to get into teaching. So I started conducting some baking classes as well. These are hands-on classes which I used to conduct from my home. So that is what is about me. So that is how my baking business started, and I eventually started taking a few courses as well. So these were the hands-on classes that I'm talking about here.
Amazing. And if I remember correctly, just before you started this, you were working with a leading IT company. If you
Yeah.
can highlight, I mean, I think you were working with an Indian company at that point. If you could tell which companies did you work with
Yeah.
earlier?
So I have worked with Infosys as well before doing my MBA. After my MBA, I had joined Tata Consultancy Services.
So you were part of TCS when you left and became a full-time baker and started also the online coaching business, teaching online.
Yes.
Fantastic. So what all products or what all courses are you selling right now online?
So online, I'm selling all the bakery related courses. So baking is like an ocean. So you can sell, like you can teach them cookies, you can
Can I
teach
share
them
your
bread.
website on the screen? I think that would be great because if we can walk through, I think
Yeah.
your screen would be enabled, or if you want, we can share it.
Anything is fine. If you want me to share, I can share that as well.
Yeah, yeah, please do. Please do.
Okay, just a minute.
We would love to look at the platform.
So I hope you all can see my screen as well.
Yes, we can. We can.
Yeah. So this is what it is. So this is the website, and as you can see, there are a number of courses over here. So, so these are the bakery courses. So like I was talking about, you can have bread course, you can have chocolate related course. In cake decoration also, you can have multiple levels. Cookies course. In chocolates also, you can have levels. Healthy baking is one part. Then you have cheesecake, then you have brownies, and then you have so many things. So these are basically what I'm teaching currently.
Amazing. What are the general prices? Where do they start from? What is the most, let's say the smallest plan? What is the cost of that? Like,
So the smallest plan is the fund. So where I teach the fundamentals of baking. So that is a 3-day live class that I conduct. So this is that particular class. Um,
okay.
And that is where I tell them how you can get started with baking on a right note. So generally, I have seen people running only after the recipes, but what they don't understand is what goes in and around the recipe. So I teach them all the fundamentals. I give them the demo of baking an actual cake, and that is how we go about it. So that is the course.
And it costs how much to just enroll in one?
So it is, so initially we had started it from 299, but then we had changed the pricing to 499 rupees.
Okay, brilliant. And how has been the experience? Let's first look at how many total number of users we have on the platform. How many people have learned from you so far?
So, so far I have taught in these 3 days live masterclass, I have taught about 4,500 plus students. And then after that, we have this Super Baker program, so which is an upsell. And there I have about 475 people.
Okay, great. So this is what we want our viewers to kind of learn from you. So what you're saying is you have a 499 kind of a program. No, sorry, just about 200-300 bucks, right? I mean that's kind of the range.
Yeah, so the range is from 299 to 999.
Okay. Okay. So you sell it between that range and you got 4,000 people to buy that program.
Yeah.
Out of 4,000 people, you converted about 10%, more than 10% actually, because you're talking about 475. So just about 475 people to buy an upsell. And how much is the upsell for?
So again, the range is from 10,000 rupees to 15 or 20,000 rupees.
And when do you say range, does it mean that you're discounting it and you're kind of making it more affordable for certain people, issuing coupons? What does it mean?
No. The pricing has always been like this. Initially, it was 10,000 rupees, but then we saw that the modules were actually quite good. People were getting great results. So we actually added a lot of value in the course itself, and that's how we increased the pricing. So that is what we keep doing.
Amazing. No, this is so good. This is exactly what we are talking to people about, that you have a basic course, you get a lot of people to come and register in it, and then you have an upsell. How does the funnel for your basic entry level course work? How do you get more people, or how did you get these 4,000 people to register?
So basically, we run ads. So it is Facebook ads and Google ads we used to run. Then people come and join the 3 days masterclass. So where they get a lot of value because the course is really structured very well. I like to show the step-by-step versions of everything. I like to break down things into small pieces so people understand actually what is happening. And I have people joining from like 8 years of age to 65 years of age, and they have given really amazing feedback. Like if you can go to Trustpilot and Google reviews, you will see that people talk about the teaching style and the content of the workshop really well. So the upsell becomes quite easy.
Wow. So that's another takeaway for everybody watching, that, building a library of testimonials, reviews is extremely important. And I think we underplay it at times, but thanks for highlighting that. When you're saying you run ads and you get people into these sessions, what are the usual costs of these ads? Like how much does an acquisition for your smaller program cost?
So initially when we started running it, it was like really great. We used to make money in the front end itself. But then, right, Facebook has to do a lot of effort. So the ad cost keeps on rising. So right now it was, the exact ROAS, if you ask me, my team will let you know the exact number, but it was about 30-40% higher than my 3 days program fees.
So you're saying that if the cost of the 3-day program is just about 3,000 rupees, about 999, it can cost you about 13 to 1,500 rupees to acquire that customer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want everybody to kind of notice this and make the math clear, that it doesn't matter if the first initial acquisition is that costly, because when you run the numbers of all those 500 people, close to 500, 475 people who bought the upsell between 10,000 rupees to 30,000, your math kind of levels up. And the blended ROAS means that the combined revenue, return on advertising spend would actually be 2 or 3, right? I mean, which means you made twice the money or thrice the money, which is brilliant. I mean, I love it. What, according to you, is the most important thing to consider when people are trying to build the same funnel for their courses, right? A smaller course, sell it, and an upsell. What are the 3 or 4 things that you would like to share with people?
Um, See, first of all, if you are running ads, then of course your ad copy and the creative has to do the job. At least initially, only then, because people don't know you in the online space. They don't really know you unless you are a super celebrity or something in that particular niche. So you have to write a good copy. You have to make good creatives. After that, your content has to do the job. You really have to give a lot of value. It is not about the pricing, but it is about the value that you give in your course, how you conduct the course, or how you answer their queries. That matters a lot, and only then the upsell will happen. And even in upsell, it has to be value loaded. uh, Only then things will start working for you.
When you talk about value loaded, what exactly do you mean? Are you talking about the number of hours that we are putting in that first course? Is it about the amount of content? And I'm sure George has maybe a few analysis point or additional questions to add here. What do you mean by that value?
So value in the sense, it has to be result oriented. So whatever content you are giving, say for example, if you see my course videos and if you see my YouTube videos, right, they are completely different. Even on YouTube, you give value, but in 5 minutes, how much value you can give. And compared to the courses you are talking, like we are talking right now, we are interacting with each other. So if you can have some mastermind sessions, some live Q&A sessions, or even the course pre-recorded, whether it is pre-recorded or live that you are doing, even that has to make sense. In the sense, it has to be result oriented. People should learn something and they should be able to implement it for their own home bakeries or for their own businesses, right? That is what I mean about giving value.
So your take is on, when you're designing the curriculum, you have to really get into it that whatever you're teaching has to make a difference in people's lives. And, it should, whatever the promise is, like it's like you're going to become a baker, then they should really be able to become a baker. And you have to really make it your sole job or focus that you will put in that value into the curriculum. So another brilliant nugget. I mean, a lot of people don't think about it. And you highlighting it is a very, very good thing. Now, hours also matter, or they don't. And the second part of the question is, live or recorded, how should people balance it? What did you do?
So, see, number of techniques, again, number of techniques or number of hours of content, if you give them, and if there is no interaction, if there are no live sessions at all, then people will feel left out, right? If I watch a particular video and if I have some queries, I should be talking to somebody so that my answers are clarified. So that should be, there should always be that blend. You give the recordings as well, and you give some live sessions as well.
How often do you go live in that particular?
Weekly once.
Weekly once for an hour?
For an hour, yes.
And everybody comes in, they ask you questions. Like it's like an AMA, ask me anything type of a thing. You don't have a structure to it.
Yes.
Wonderful. So you believe there is that kind of a mix possible, that people can just kind of go live once and then the rest is all structured around the recorded sessions? No, that's a great learning. And what else in the page, where you're actually selling? Do you think your take would be, what should they write? How should they structure that landing page?
Oh, landing page. Of course, first of all, what you are selling to them has to be clear. What problem you are solving for your audience has to be made very, very clear. Then you can give them some reviews. You can tell them what exactly you are going to teach them in their webinar or in their live class. And that's about it. And pricing in the front end can be little low. So people will come, they will see you, how you are teaching, or what is the content all about. If they like you, then upsell will naturally happen.
Okay. And I mean, I would also invite George. He's here. George, if you can join in, you have a few questions. Please fire away.
Sure, I've had the past conversations with Deepti, and I had the pleasure of talking to the team. I wanted to really understand. A lot of people say, I know I'm an expert in coaching. I know what to teach. Ad chalana nahi aata hai. How do I run ads? So did you learn it yourself, or do you have a team who does that for you? And how do you manage that growth?
We have a team who does that. I do the coach wala work.
Okay, so the bigger question really is, and this is the perfect answer that I was waiting for. So if you are somebody who is an expert in baking, and then there is a business side to it as well. So how do you bridge that gap, and how do you talk to the digital marketing team to make sure that they are bringing in the returns that you are expecting?
Yeah, so initially there was a gap, right? So whatever they used to create a copy or create make the creative, there used to be some gap, some like we never used to resonate on that particular creative. So what we did was I started creating few creatives myself, what I feel are very, very important from the niche point of view. And then I used to give them so that, they understand what I'm looking for. And from the digital marketing point of view, then they can change it. Like marketing, they know better. So, they can bridge that gap.
So you do look at it on a regular basis.
Yes.
So everything goes from your approval.
Yeah. Without my review, nothing goes up there.
I mean, that's one thing that people have struggled with is that making that jump from being a teacher or a coach to being a business person. And I think that your team has, and you have done that really beautifully.
But you have to do it once, right? You have to get your hands dirty first. You have to learn it, at least the basics you have to learn, so that whatever somebody else is saying makes sense to you. So
absolutely. And on that note, I wanted to ask you that taking that jump, how did the plan for the community come in place? Is it on a platform? Is it all just WhatsApp? How do you engage that community and grow it?
So we have WhatsApp community as well, and we have Facebook community as well. So whenever the upsell happens, we put them in a group in the Facebook community, and that is where they can start submit. So we give them assignments, we give them assessments, and then they do it. So we have to review that. And generally, see, when you are part of the community, you naturally feel very inspired because you are in a group of like-minded people. So I see somebody else putting a lovely looking cake. So I naturally want to give my best shot and give and make a beautiful cake myself. Or say, for example, somebody is feeling very low, her cream is not coming out very nice, and she's putting that thing on the group. Then other people will encourage her that no, you are almost there. So like that motivation factor also comes in when you are part of the community. When you do things alone, then you cannot grow further. So that is the power of community.
Has community helped you grow sales? Has that also happened?
Yeah, it happens. So I have got a lot of even for my upsell, I have my students pitching my upsell course. So there is no ads.
So word of mouth. You've got word of mouth publicity for your business. Amazing. So the next question is, do you just have one Facebook community where everybody jumps in, or do you have different communities being managed based on where they are in the learning journey?
So in my level 1 course also, I have made 3 groups actually, depending on the level. So in level 1 also there are sub levels. So we have only 3 groups over there.
Okay, and so that means you have 3 levels of product offerings.
Yes.
And for whenever somebody signs up on either of the levels, they move accordingly.
Yes.
And their entry point is from the WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Because that's where all the notifications are happening. Amazing.
Yes.
And so how much of all of this takes your own personal time to do this?
Initially, it used to take a lot of time because see, you have to set up the systems, you have to do the creatives, and see, first you have to learn and then you have to do, then you have to make it better. So all these things take a lot of time. So initially it used to take up like 10 hours of my time. I have to create the content as well, and I have to look into all these things. But right now, since we have the team, and right now, since you know a lot of things, you can literally give very less time, and that is how we are growing.
Great. If you could share your top 3 challenges that you faced in growing the business and reaching this milestone of 80 lakhs in this time.
So setting up the system was a big challenge, to be very frank. Like creating these landing pages and searching for the LMS. Where should I keep my content on? And yeah, how should I go live? How should camera confidence also should be there,
Yeah, very true.
So yeah, so those were the few challenges that we faced initially.
Okay, and so we have still a lot of people logged in. I think we have about 63, 65 people still logged in. So for all those people who are still logged in, and Fazia, if you have a question, because I see that you've raised your hand, we'll be happy to take that up as well. But for all the aspiring coaches who definitely want to reach that level also, could you give us 2 golden advice for people who are just starting?
Always think about the transformation that you are going to bring about in people's life, what problem you can solve for them, and try to structure your course around it, and learn marketing.
I think that's when you're on for any business, especially in online business, you have to wear multiple hats, and marketing is definitely one of them, for sure. So, Kiran, would you like to ask any questions or add anything? You're on mute.
I think we should probably ask a few questions that users here had, and I saw that a few questions are from the audience. But Deepti, I'm a huge fan of what you're doing. I think you're doing tremendous work, and I think it adds a lot of value to bring somebody like you who's actually done that. From a corporate career to becoming a creator and an entrepreneur, and being a female who's also is a mother. I think you have a young child, if I'm not wrong, and you don so many hats. It's just so inspiring for a lot of people who'll hear this. So I feel you're one of those creators that I would love to kind of talk about everywhere that I talk of success being achieved by role models. So great work, congratulations, and we'll do many more of these interactions, and wherever we can highlight, we would love to bring you on board.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this honor.
So Mani Agarwal has a question from Deepti. I think she is asking, how do you make your videos? What are some important points that she should keep in mind, or he should keep in mind?
Which videos?
For the sake of this question, because that's not listed here, let's say YouTube and course content videos.
So like basic camera, you can use iPhone. I don't even use a DSLR. Okay. So yeah, just like take a tripod and shoot the front face videos, and like that you can do some recipe videos. That is what I do.
And so the camera is basically pointing at the food while you're using your hands to show what's actually happening with the recipe.
Yes.
Amazing. And I think a lot of people actually still struggle, I need to hire a video production agency, get multiple cameras, set up a studio, shoot all of that. All of that is great. If you want to really do that, yes, you can. But today with technology, all you need is your phone actually, and just a laptop to record all of that.
If you want to, if you wait till you become perfect, you will never achieve what you really want to achieve. Version 1 is always better than version none. That is what.
This is
so start somewhere.
Yeah, perfection is the killer of execution.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's so true. I mean, I've heard and this is one thing which really differentiates people from being successful versus not, right? So the version one is a lot better than version 0. That's something they always run with, and that's amazing. Dr. Neeta Sharma Das is asking, when did you start your business? I think she started her business sometime back in 14, 15, 16. But I think this question is more about the online coaching academy.
So I started it just a year ago. So I remember in Feb, in last year Feb, I started with my first online course, which was about Valentine's Day. So I got like great response. And that's when I decided I have to start my online baking academy.
So, I mean, the timing is also, great.
Yeah,
Valentine's Day, people are looking for roses, chocolates, and cakes, and you dropped your course that's available. So the timing is also super important,
yeah.
like that. So Web3, crypto, cooking, online courses, they're all hot right now. So I see Fazia Samreen, you've actually raised a question. If you could actually drop them in the chat or Q&A section, we'll definitely take them up. Bharat Nisar is saying, how do you make videos for getting people to your landing page? Do you use video ads? Is basically what he's trying to ask.
So yes, similar way I used to create. I had created some 6 videos for my video ads. So see again, there you have to do a lot of testing. Not for every niche the video ads will work. What we realized is the creatives, the ad creatives worked a lot better than the video ads.
And that's an interesting insight, because we've also noticed from our past webinars that static image ads are a lot cheaper in terms of getting more leads than video ads. Because there is a point with videos, the challenge is if you're not able to hook somebody in the first 3 seconds, they stop watching the video, and then that's money lost, because it takes a lot of effort to get them to watch those videos.
I have a quick take here on, you just mentioned that crypto and online courses are hot right now. I have something that I always tell my investors and prospective investors. It's not just right now. Whatever was written in the libraries of the past, in the books, millions of books that exist out there, and literally millions, or probably a billion books that exist out there, will all be converted into online courses by creators like Deepti. Baking exists in books, but this generation doesn't want to go and read. And it's an inferior medium compared to what she's able to do in front of the camera, right? I mean, paper does not jump out of the two-dimensional reality that it exists on, and obviously the words. So just mark my words here that it is going to be just growing bigger and bigger, because books never slowed down till this new medium came. So we have probably a few hundred years. We will see the meta world, but it will still have videos. So videos are not going to go anywhere.
Absolutely.
Dr. Neela Sharma Das has a follow-up question there. How much is the monthly investment that you do from your team? If you could answer. So now, I'll break that question down. One, of course, is the cost of a team. So you may not want to answer that, because digital marketing teams are basically outsourced. If you have an outsourcing, it depends on what agency you hire, correct? So what's your cost?
So, I mean, you are asking about the team or FB ad spend?
Yeah, FB ad spend is what I meant, sorry.
FB ad spend, again, it depends. If we see that we are really getting amazing results, then we don't mind spending. Like we have spent 3 to 5 lakh rupees per month as well.
Yeah, so like I said in the beginning of the session also, Dr. Das, let me just call that, it's easier. Dr. Das, it totally depends on the kind of ad quality you have and the landing page and your product offering or the course offering here. But typically we have seen 30 to 70% is what you're spending on ads. That is a safe range to accept, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you're selling a course for, let's say, 1,000 rupees, it could be anywhere between 300 to 700 rupees is the range per purchase.
Correct.
Right. So then if you want, let's say 1 lakh rupees, you have to do it times 100, and that's where you're at. If you want to get to 1 crore, you do that. The beauty is, and the amazing part is, we've had the people who have grown their business in crores by selling courses through ads, and all of them have started with the same structure. They decide on a small budget, 50,000, 1 lakh rupees first, and then the ball starts rolling every month. You keep spending more money to get more money, right? So that's basically how it works. I do have one more question here.
Yes, sure.
That are you using your own payment gateways, or are you using your? This is the name has not been shared. Are you using your own payment gateways to collect payments, or are you using Knorish?
No, so I'm using InstaMojo and Razorpay.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. If anybody else has any more questions, please do ask. Else, I think this has been the best conversation we've had in a very, very long time. And like Ina says, thank you so much for taking the time out today to actually meet us and talk to us and share your experience. Once again, it's Dipti Vartak Academy.com. That's where you go to find the courses, learn baking, and any future plans for what's happening with the academy, what's coming next?
Yeah, so my bakery business, so I'll be launching my another course, so which is so you were talking about that, right, in the webinar. So we have more courses, and so that bakery business course is going to come up.
So you're teaching people how to start your own bakery
Yes,
business.
yes, yes,
So the fourth upsell
yes,
that you're talking about.
yes,
See, that's the structure that everybody uses, and it works because ultimately you're teaching people to make money on their own from the skills that they have learned from you, and there's
No,
no greater skill. Yeah.
and I would like to add something here. See, I kept talking about the transformation that you should create in people's life, right? So your students will only ask you for the higher end course. So now that my students, and these are not homemakers, okay? I have doctors, I have teachers, and I have students, I have architects who have actually, they never knew baking. They were zero in baking, and they started selling cakes from home in just a matter of 2 months. And I
Nice.
have these stories documented on my YouTube channel. So what I do is I do these Hall of Fame interviews with such people, and they share all their stories, how it started and everything. So I have people who have come out of depression because of these courses. So these are very heart touching stories, and then you eventually want to give more to the society. And these people, once they get that lovely outcome, they themselves will ask you for the higher level courses. Can you teach us baking? Can you teach us selling cakes and all that stuff? So,
I mean,
so
the
that is,
impact that you're creating is amazing. Not just with the people who are going through the course, but also their families, and you're spreading joy and happiness with food. I mean, and then they start their own business, and so it has an incremental effect.
yes.
So, super amazing. But thank you so much for taking the time out today.
And thank you so much to Knorish. I mean, see, I think we both started, we both were new, and I was looking for the LMS for my for hosting my courses, and then I just happened to come across your ad on FB, and then we went through that Google Meet with Miti, and I in my when I was working with TCS. I used to work with the team where we used to also build the LMS. So somehow I saw that emotional connect when Miti was presenting Knorish to me, and I told my husband that I have to take this, and that's what we are onboarded. My students are loving the app, and we are really looking forward to iOS app if you are planning to develop it in future with all the added features. I'm sure we are going to, it is going to help us in our coaching journey. So
The
thank you so
iOS
much.
app is already there, Deepti.
Okay.
The only problem with the iOS app is that you can't sell stuff through iOS apps right now,
Okay.
not just on our platform, nowhere. In fact, if you notice, even Amazon has stopped selling through the iOS based apps, but you kind of go to, Kindle books and all digital products now don't get sold there. So
Okay.
iOS app is already there. I mean, we'll get the team to talk to you and see how
Yeah.
we can make that
Yeah.
happen.
That
But
would be
lovely.
great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Great.
inviting me.
Pleasure. Thanks, Deepti. And thanks everybody who logged in. Have a great weekend. And remember to take the benefit of that coupon that we shared because this is only limited to 10 people. And we do see that a lot of people had left their comments and we had, a few hundred people join in for the session today. So look at that, right? I mean, everybody who joined in and got the coupon, you'll have to be quick with that. It's only active till Monday. Thank you so much, Deepti. Keep doing the great work, and we hope to connect with you very soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.